you shaved your head a while ago, and I didn't really understand why you did it.
Sure,
I mean,
sure. My philosophy in general, right, is that the body stores more of the memories than the brain does. The muscles in the body, the skin, the organs, they all hold emotional memories that relate to your childhood. And when you stretch them, when you massage them, what you're doing is you're reducing the emotional intensity of that memory so that the rest of the body can say, I know that you're afraid, I know that this muscle is afraid, but the rest of the body's grown up now and we can handle this, right? Because 9 times out of 10, that got laid down when you were a kid. So what happened was we were in France, and the meditating that I was doing, the sessions that I was doing, kept bringing me to my hair, and I there was connection between my mother washing my hair when I was a kid and that happening very shortly after a big trauma that happened, and she washed my hair to try to kind of help me through it. I was 4 years old. There was so much pain in it, and so I just decided, you know what, just like with the muscle, I need to stretch it out so that new muscle can grow. I need to just clear out all of these follicles that hold this bad association, bad memory, and let it come through as a new creation. I'm all about intuitive-led stretching. So it's not about teaching asanas or teaching do this position and that position. It's more about getting in the right mindset, giving yourself the space to explore your own body rather than copying some instructor doing that position and that position. You need to find positions that work to your body with your specific memories and your specific traumas. That's the basic philosophy of Gorilla Zen, because the solution needs to be as easy and simple as possible. And the current best solution that we've had to childhood traumas has been hours and hours and hours of therapy, or, you know, talking therapy, where the focus is, I'm going to try and reprogram my mind, my brain. And what I discovered through my practice was that it's much, much easier to get rid of the tension in the body first. And then what happens is the brain doesn't feel the need to create the story because the body doesn't feel it anymore, right? The example I like to give is when I was 10 years old, I moved to England from Dubai, and I didn't understand English people at all. It was really scary, it was really intimidating, and my first day of school, I was just like, I don't understand football, Pokemon, all the things these kids were interested in. I feel like an alien. First day of school, I was stood on the basketball court and talking to a girl who had come over. She felt sorry for me, so she was like, who are you? Are you the new kid? Started a conversation. While I'm talking to her, I get hit in the face with a basketball out of nowhere. It flies across the court, hits me in the face. Now, years later, I discovered that when I got socially anxious, when I started feeling a bit self-conscious and scared of new people, my cheek would twitch, right?
Oh.
Because that cheek, as far as that cheek is concerned, when I'm in a socially threatening situation, I'm probably going to be hit in the face with a basketball sometime soon, right? That's the cheek memory. So the cheek is getting tense because it's like, uh-oh, I'm going to get hit with a basketball soon. Trying to solve my social anxiety, I found that I had much more progress when I gave the cheek a massage than by doing some complicated fancy thing in my brain. And of course, the reason why you put on the mask is because of what you perceived you needed to change in order to be accepted.
Yes.
So I think that what's happening is that you're setting yourself the goal of expressing more of your full self to people, including girls, including friends, including the parents. And because for so long you've been so accustomed to wearing the mask, I think the reason you're feeling confused is because you're trying to figure out which mask to switch to instead of how to remove the masks. When you were 8 years old at the summer camp and the girls were paying more attention to the big extroverts, your assumption was that you had to be more like them in order to get that kind of attention.
Yes, because I didn't have the attention.
Right. That's not true. The reason why they were getting more attention was not because they were more extroverted and loud, because they were more congruent with who they are.
Oh, I
Because
get it.
they weren't looking at you or anyone else and thinking, why am I not getting their results? You were busy thinking, or as a kid, you know, trying to figure out why you were in the situation you were in, instead of being in the situation you're in. That what girls find attractive is not loud extrovert. Some girls do, some girls really don't. The only thing that girls find attractive universally is a man who is present. And to be in the moment that you're in, you have to clear out all of that self-talk that's asking and comparing and saying, how do I make it better? You got to take all of that out and just be you. And it may be that you are not an extroverted, loud person, and you don't need to change that. What you need to do is become comfortable with being you, and then be open to whatever that attracts. Because another thing is, if you've been wearing masks, then you're probably looking at girls adopting that mask as you're looking at them. So you may find girls attractive right now, and in a couple of years' time you'll look at and go, my God, I would have had a nightmare if I'd hooked up with that girl. The better way to do it as a man is to become you, to become more comfortable with being you as you are, and then the girls that resonate with you will show up. It's not real until you experience it yourself. And when you experience it yourself, the only value that that knowledge that you learned gives you is it gives you context for what you're experiencing now, okay?
Mhm.
So for instance, if a 40-year-old man gives me a piece of advice, and I think that's a wonderful piece of advice, and then I probably forget about it because it might not be relevant to me yet. And then in a few years' time, even though I thought I learned that piece of advice, I was like, thank you for that advice. I'm not going to make that mistake. I'm going to do things differently. And then I get to the point where I'm in that situation. I go, oh, that piece of advice is relevant for here. When you're trying different paths to get a solution, there's going to be a point where as you're moving along that path, there's a drop off. And then you say, I need a different path. And then you go along that path, and then there's a drop off. So let's zero in on that drop off. With each of these knowledge-based solutions that you've tried to find, what's been the point when you've given up? Have you ever seen the Mandelbrot set? Have you ever seen this? It's an image of this like psychedelic looking bubble thing. And as you zoom in, it repeats itself at different levels. And you can zoom in infinitely, right? The way I like to see this is that as you grow and develop, your bubble is getting bigger. But it can't get bigger unless there are smaller bubbles that are also getting bigger. You all get bigger together. So the selfish thing is you want to get bigger, so you need to explain things and help yourself understand things more. But you need to start creating a bit of a tribe around your unique message and experience. And what you're doing is you're helping others who maybe they're floating around here and they're trying to figure out who's going to be my guru for the next few months, or in whatever capacity that is, who's going to be my guru. And then they find your bubble, and if it resonates, they stay and they give you feedback and they say thank you so much for your message. And that helps you to grow more, because you can see that you're actually helping other people to do the things that you figured out a couple of months ago. So that's the first part of this, the handing the information down. The next part of this is taking from above. And for you, if you're going to be helping people through what you've been going through at the lower end, you're not just teaching them, you're actually giving them support, you're actually giving them encouragement. And then what happens is that you've got like up and down, you're taking from above and you're giving to below. And the better you get at it, the further up you move. And then you find that you're doing better than the coach you paid. And then you have to find a better coach. And then you end up coaching the people that used to coach you, but on something else, right? And that's the coaching space, is it's full of people that, I once coached you on how to make money online, and now you're coaching me on how to pick up girls, right? It's this thing. Every being is an infinite being, right? And they've got a huge variety of personality traits, skills, memories, and all sorts of things. So every single person that you meet on some area of life they're higher up than you are. And on other areas of life, you're higher up than they are. Now, what happens, especially when you're a young man, is that you look for the places where you're better because you want that self-worth feeling, because it's hard for young men to feel self-worth. As you get older, as you get more mature, you get more comfortable with what you're good at and what you're not. And then rather than when you meet someone automatically looking for the bits where you're better, you instead look for the bits where they're better, and what you look for the good in them as well as looking for the bits where you're better. And then you create a synergy in your conversation where you're giving to them what they need to bring up that point, and they then reciprocate and give you what you need to that point. All it is it's communicating with someone from the perspective of, I'm going to give to them as much as I can of what they need that I've got. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to be open to what they've got that I need and seek that out as an exchange. Do you have any more questions for me at this point?
Do you still practice meditation?
Yeah. Yes, well, the Gorilla Zen Yoga is my meditation. And through practicing Gorilla Zen Yoga, I would say that most of my life is a meditation. So I don't sit down and do a half an hour meditation and count the breath anymore. I don't do that stuff. I do that when I'm eating. I do that when I'm walking. I do that when I'm with my missus. I do that when I'm on a coaching call. I do it when I'm making notes. Like, everything that I do is a meditation for me. So when the thoughts come in and intrude, just like they do in the meditation, I come back to the breath, I come back to the body, and then I get to the task at hand. And the spiritual capitalist work that I do is about how you turn your business into your own meditation, because then you're multitasking. Because in the process of doing the business work, you're also healing, you're also helping others. So what I want to ask you is, does that crash course sound like something you'd be interested in?
Yes.
Okay. And this is the advantage of booking a free flash sale call like you did. You know, I only took 5 of these. And part of the reason is I know that by the end of the call with someone, I'm going to want them so much to join the course, and I'm going to believe so much they're going to benefit from it, that I'm willing to just slash the price.
No, credit card.
Credit card, okay. Okay, brilliant. We have liftoff. It is cleared. I've got your email. I'll have Ty, my assistant, send you all over the stuff right now. And good to have you on board, man. Thank you for your business. Okay. So that will sound cool for you?
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Good, good.